Welcome back to the Full 40 with Willie, Tommy, and Brian. I don't know why I said it like that, but we're back.
I like that.
How we doing, fellas?
Medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
Are you in the portal?
I tried to enter a couple players in the portal and I wasn't able to, so I think that puts me in the portal. Like I think if you can't put someone else in the portal, you yourself are in. So yeah, I am. But it's going well. No one's contacted me yet, but I have a do not contact tag. So
Good. And Tommy, are you in the portal? How you doing?
Not in the portal. Not in the portal. I've reached an agreement to come back, which is
did
great.
you do an I'm back Instagram?
Yeah, of course.
I've spent like way
Hashtag
more.
committed.
I've spent too much time. Like, there's a reason I never made it as a D1 athlete, but I'm always like, I would never like. No, I'm not telling you that I'm coming back, and I'm not saying anything about it. That's just what it is. Like it's
that's
expected.
how sports were 3 years ago thing.
Yeah, it's the boomer thing in me where I'm like, getting old. Where I'm like, just you don't need to tell us you're back. Either tell us you're leaving.
The assumption is you will be back unless otherwise stated.
Ryan Kalkbrenner did it right. He just sent a tweet. He like the last 2 years he was there. He said, "I will be back for my junior year, my senior year at Creighton," and that was it.
Well, his made sense because it was like, is he going to the NBA draft? Right? Not like, is he leaving Creighton?
There's somebody at the Phillies game today with a custom Kalkbrenner Phillies jersey on.
Okay.
I saw a picture of that.
Is there a Kalkbrenner in the Phillies farm system I'm unaware of?
No.
Okay, so that is Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Believe so.
Okay. There are dozens of them.
The more you know.
All right. Well, thanks y'all for listening. See ya. No,
that would be good.
That would be just like, all right, peace. It's portal season. We have kicked it off. There have been some big portal moves from us, some portal moves from from all over the country. Today we're going to talk about some of those, and then we're going to get into the 40s. We're going to do our end of season awards. It's going to be a little different than what we'd seen in the past, but we're going to get into the 40s. We're going to do some awards. We're going to hand out some just things to the team. But first, what everyone cares about right now, we got to talk about the portal. We got to talk about just what's happened to us since our last episode, because we finished the week after we lost to Utah State. That was our last episode. Then we kind of said we'll sit in the portal for a bit, and here we are. Since we have last spoke, you remember that Fresh Prince episode where Will Smith is in the empty house and it's just the last episode where he's just looking around?
Yeah,
that was us for a split second. We have had, I'm going to do this off the top of my head, I'm not even looking at anything. Caden Lewis, Bryce Lindsay, what's his face? Braden Pierce, all enter the portal. Nico enter the portal as well. That was our fourth. Malcolm Flaggs enter the portal. So I'm actually very curious to see where he ends up. And then we also had people graduate. Devin Askew with his final 6th year of eligibility has graduated. Duke Brennan graduated and now is appealing because of the 5 and 5 rule at the NCAA is not even, they're considering, like they haven't made it a rule yet. So I don't think it's going to work because they haven't passed it.
It does seem odd that when they proposed it, they're like, yeah, we're going to vote in 2 weeks. That usually it felt like that would be like, oh, we'll talk for the year or like a study or something. It just seemed like kind of a seat of the pants thing.
Yeah, that feels like everything that NCAA is doing. Is there anybody else from the roster that I'm missing who left the portal? I think that's everybody. I'm just doing it off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the roster right now. We do have confirmed back.
Did you mention that the kid who redshirted?
Oh, Zion Stanford.
No, the 7-foot kid.
Oh, Nico. Yeah, Nico. Yeah. On Yekaway. Yeah. So they all left. And so currently, as we stand right now, we have Matt Hodge, who's confirmed back, Tyler Perkins, who is confirmed being back. We have not heard that Malachi Palmer or Chris Jeffrey are back, but similar to what we just said, I'm going to assume they're back until they say otherwise. So that's our 4 right now, but we have been active in the portal as well. But before we get into like some of the people, and also Wade Chittick graduated. I should say that. He dedicated a lot of time to the program. It would be unfair to gloss over him.
Yep.
But so we have those 4, but now we need to spend some time talking about just like what we lost. And realistically, like, no offense to Braden Pierce, no offense to Zion Stanford, there's two main people that we look at as losses here. It's Caden Lewis, who has just committed to Miami today, and then Bryce Lindsey, who we were probably hoping could be our super sixth man, honestly, but now it isn't, and he's in the portal. I've seen him attached to a few schools. We'll see where he ends up at. Just thoughts on the loss of Lewis and Lindsey. We'll start there.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a guy like Caden Lewis, guys like Bryce Lindsey, it's going to be tough, right? And we're going to talk about like Caden Lewis a little bit more in depth. So I'll start with Bryce Lindsey, and it really sucks because he is the kind of guy that we need on this roster right now. Like if we had, like if he was in the portal from another team, like we would definitely be going after him. This team signing Devin Royal, signing Kwame Evans. Tyler Perkins returning. I don't know what 5 that they're going to roll out there to start the season. I don't think that he's on the roster yet. But there's not a lot of shooting on this team. So guys like Bryce Lindsey, and specifically Bryce Lindsey, it hurts doubly because I mean Villanova's not hurting for money. So he wants to start. He wants to do this, and I respect his decision. It sucks because we really could have used him here.
Yeah, and we think about like him starting. I think, and we spoke about this, he was kind of just like caught in between a rock and a hard place of Tyler Perkins came back and the starting 2-guard spot was going to be his. There was no question about that. And we've talked about this throughout the offseason or throughout the season. As great as Bryce Lindsey is, he's not a true point guard. So you're kind of left in this spot of, okay, you could either hope he gets better as a true point guard, but then he's going to ask for money, point guard money, and he's going to ask, like, expect to have the ball in his hands. And that could end up like derailing the season before it really gets started if you like bank on him being a traditional point guard. Or you're going to go super, super small with essentially Bryce Lindsey 6'3", Perkins is 6'4". Your other starting point guard you give in the portal, best case is 6'5". Like, let's just call that, like, that's typically your best case scenario is. Then you're going super small, which we'll talk about this a little bit later in the episode as well, is kind of the opposite of where college basketball has been going. College basketball has gone to, and it's always kind of been there, but it's really indexed hard to like size and scale. Size has always been important. Scale has always been important, but now this intersection has hit college to a level that it's like very apparent. And Bryce being pigeonholed to not being able to be a person to get your offense situated as a point guard, hitting and realistically being pigeonholed to the sixth man means that he's going to leave. And as I've said all season, like he was one of my favorite players he was my favorite player on the roster. It's a bummer that he's leaving, but I get it. And I like wish him the best. And like, he will probably end up at a team that's going to be like, here's your starting 2-guard spot.
Yep.
Go shoot 10 threes a game. And like, he will do that happily. So that's where Bryce leaves us at. We're going to see what happens. I don't think I've seen anything saying where he's like committed to or anything along those lines. So we'll see what happens there. The next one we have is Caden Lewis. So today, Caden Lewis just committed to Miami, but we've seen more, I'm going to use a word I rarely use, consternation around Caden Lewis, just because, I mean, not for nothing, like without getting into any of the numbers that have been thrown around of what we offered or what he's accepted for Miami, he had a position where he was given the keys to the team as a freshman, starting point guard. Did very well overall in the scheme of things, like a very, very good freshman season. Was offered a raise and commiserate money to say like, hey, this is your team, continue. Said no and entered the portal. And that frustrated Nova Nation at large because, and not even just him, like college basketball, plenty of people have been like, what's his decision-making process here? Why did he say no to this? Because it was a team that a team that you had already been the leader of, or a leader of, and being in the same spot with more money and to go to some other place. That was kind of where I saw a lot of that consternation. Tommy, Brian, kind of curious your thoughts on Caden leaving. I had a take that I think I thought this was going to happen the second I heard that interview. I said this in the group chat when they came to San Diego, and he was like, "Oh, this is so great! Like, you can be outside, you can do all this different stuff." I was like, "Oh, that man's going to leave for a warm weather place," and here he goes to the U, which you will have to deal with the classic 2 p.m. Miami shower, but that's about it.
Yeah. I wish Caden absolutely nothing but the best in his journey to Miami. I just don't understand this decision to leave, right? Whether it be the climate, what you're saying, what's best for him down there in Miami, whether it be the play style. I know Jay Lucas has a very different play style than Kevin Willard, but I mean, you hit the nail on the head saying like he had everything that he wanted here. I don't know the exact reason for him leaving, whether it be him not being happy with the coaching staff. There were 2 or 3 times this year where Caden struggled at some points in games, and he was benched towards the ends of games. Like the first game against BYU, they lost 71-66. Caden Lewis played like 2 minutes in the second half or something like that.
Yep.
And that wasn't the only time. That was the first game of the season, obviously, but there were other times throughout the year that happened. And I can't imagine that sat well with him. But I mean, this was his team. This was his team last year, and he did a good job last year. Like you mentioned, the money, people throw around figures all the time. I don't want to speculate too much on money, but he wasn't going to be broke if he stayed on the main line. So I don't get the decision to leave, but I hope he finds what he's looking for.
Yeah,
I think we talked about this a little bit. I didn't expect him to stay, not because I know anything about him. I hadn't heard him until I got to school there, but I assume most high-end players are just leaving. It's like kind of when you leave a job, you're going to get your biggest pay raise at your next place rather than you stay. So I think the idea is you kind of start hunting. And the other thing to me is I figured he'd go somewhere that had put guys in the NBA more recently. And I don't mean from the school, but more from the coaching staff. And, Kevin Willard, I know he had Queen at Maryland, but I don't know that he's had a ton of other NBA guys. And I think if you're a kid like that, you gamble. You don't necessarily want to gamble. I'm speculating. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody, but in my head, I saw him go into a place like Kansas or one of the more traditional kind of NBA feeders. That's not the case with Miami, but I didn't really anticipate him coming back, and it's a bummer that played hard, played well, but I think we have to get used to, for the most part, you get 1 year with a guy, kind of wrap it up in that, and don't get mad if they leave, because remember, we're getting guys from programs, that we're gonna love right when they get here. And look at every year in its own bubble, or every season.
And if we look at Jai Lucas, his entire family is just kind of basketball. There are NBA connections. I mean, we look at his dad, John Lucas II, was at Maryland, played in the NBA. Then John Lucas III played at Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his whole family.
I know that. Yeah.
So, I mean, and he did a good job. I mean, 1 year at Miami, I don't think was an assistant at a few other places. Was assistant at assistant at Duke, and it was under Cal at Kentucky for a bit. But yeah,
okay.
So he has some connections, and so I can see that.
Of those guys, I was just thinking.
And he also played point guard. So I mean, he played. I don't think he ever sniffed the NBA. I think he was only like G League, and then played insert random European country. I'm not sure where it was. So I think that probably had something to do with it. There's a talk of also just like, even coming from Duke, like the Jai Lucas is like a great recruiter, like connects with people. He's younger, and just like a very, very good recruiter. So I don't know. We're gonna see, but I'm not overall worried about. Actually, I want to take a step back here because, like, I was going to say I'm not worried about Nova, but I might be depending on how our portal goes. So let's switch to the portal. Let's talk about what we did get as of right now. So we have 2 commits, and there's a clear trend that Kevin Willard is doing. I tweeted about this yesterday, but our 2 commits are Kwame Evans, who we spoke about on the last podcast because it was brought up that he might be interested. 6'10" power forward, 220 from Oregon, very athletic, good defensively. Offense is solid, but not like elite across the board. Just kind of uses his length. And Matt, I think a weird. I don't. There's not really a like Villanova comp for him like that we ever really had like because everybody else I would want to say was way better offensively than he's ever been as of right now. So I don't really have one. If you took away like like half of Dante Cunningham's offense, like might be something, but like it's still not like it's not a 1-to-1 thing. But he's a very, very good player. Was a former 5-star player. As a freshman, had NBA like juice, and I think they recognized he wasn't ready. He wasn't strong enough. He's gotten stronger. He's a senior. He's coming here, which is fantastic. And then the other player that we got just yesterday committed, Devin Royal, 6'6", like probably also 220, wing from Ohio State. I compared him more, like think about him more in the JVP world before JVP randomly stopped shooting threes his senior year, which I still don't really understand why he just stopped shooting threes. He wasn't great at it, but like shoot one.
That's a good point.
But kind of more in that realm. He's going to be very physical. He's a burly forward. He's made strides shooting the 3 ball, but once again, isn't that great of a shooter from 3, which Tommy gets to your point of we need some shooting, which we'll talk about, but let's talk about the good of getting 2 big wings. I imagine Evans can play small ball 5 for us. Heck, Royal could play 5 for us at times too, just with his strength and rebounding. But what are your thoughts on the team or the pickups?
So I'll start with Kwame Evans here. And the one thing I liked about Kwame Evans when I went back and I looked at some of his games, I watched probably 2 or 3 games, rewinds of Oregon wasn't very good last year, but one thing I noticed about Kwame Evans is that he never gave up. Like his motor, I think that speaks to his character because you can only see so much when you're watching these from the broadcast angle and stuff like that. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I think that speaks to him as a person. I think that's the kind of guy you want to recruit. But at Villanova, ideally he's going to play the 4 and we'll get a true 5 in here. Like you mentioned, we can play small ball 5, but this fixes a lot for Villanova. This signing and the Devin Royal signings, and Villanova, they were outscored in the paint in every meaningful loss that they've had. Right, Georgetown, Utah State. Evans is kind of, I don't want to say the fixer, but maybe the answer to that. Hodge is like a stretch 4. Evans is bigger, longer. He's more athletic in that role. He like defensively, a Villanova comp I would have is like don't get your expectations that high, but like a Mikal Bridges Redux in a way. Same build, same frame on the defensive end. But yeah, I'm really excited about Kwame Evans and then Devin Royal, 6'6", 220, small forward. I watched a couple of his games as well. He played a lot of the 4 earlier in the season. Then towards the end of the season, he was playing more of the 3 role. And that's what he wants to play at Villanova. And that's what he's going to play at Villanova, barring some change-up at the last minute. But he visited Monday, committed the same day. He did not leave campus. It was like a 10:45 p.m. commitment.
Which was wild. I was like, I was like sitting on my couch and I'm like, we got a commitment. It's like 8 Pacific. And I'm like, we have a commitment already? That's insane. But go for it.
Yeah, seriously. But he's an improving shooter. Both his 3-point percentage and free throw percentage went up year over year. As we know, free throws matter for this team. I think he shot like 80% from the free throw line this past year. So that's going to be huge. And he rebounds like a bigger player. So he averaged 5.7 rebounds per game last year, and he's only 6'6". Hodge is 6'8". He averaged 3.6 rebounds per game. Royal's a more aggressive rebounder. You add Evans and Royal playing in the Big Ten last year. Combined, they averaged 27 and 13.1. Villanova, they lost a lot last year on the boards. That Utah State game, I think they got out-rebounded by 20 rebounds. So that was obviously very high on Kevin Willard's priority list. in the portal, and he's done a good job of addressing that so far.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think, and we just kind of talking about Willard's priorities here. I think it's becoming pretty clear that. So we spoke about this at the beginning of the podcast, but college basketball is changing, or changed. I'm not even saying changing; it's changed. One from the NIL perspective, but two from how team and roster build is happening. If we go to the last 4 champions, Michigan, Florida, UConn. And then that would put us to 2022, which was Kansas, which kind of had it, but Kansas was probably, we'll call Kansas a little bit of an outlier. But those last 4 are all teams that depended on size and skill. Like they had very big size and skill, even to the point of like UConn's guards in those years were bigger. Tristan Newton was a bigger guard. Their guards this year, which got them to the title, Ball and Demery, they're bigger guards. The basketball has changed just at large to like, I mean, we could go into the history of basketball, but now it is size and skill. That is just what it is. And it's kind of the natural, like, where everything was going. It was size, and I guess I'm going into the history because I'm saying it. It was size in like pre-2006. It was just size. And then there was a revolution to skill with 3-point shooting, Steph Curry breaking basketball. Everyone's heard all about this. And now it's going back to where, okay, well, now if you can get people who can do what Steph Curry does to even a less extent, but they still have the size, you change that basketball. Teams are building towards this. If we look at the Final Four this year, Arizona was just burly, strong size. They got downhill. They didn't shoot a lot of threes. They got downhill. They continued to rebound. They continued to fight you. UConn, similar thing. UConn had a little more skill than in Arizona, but they had shooting and then they had size across the board. I think the smallest player on the team off the top of my head was Malachi Smith, probably like 6'2", 6'3", like across of a rotation player. Everything there. Illinois, size. The Soviet bloc from Illinois, just size. The smallest player in Illinois' rotation was Kylan Boswell, who was their point guard, but like he was an outlier there. Everything else, when they went to their 5, when they went to Wagler, Merkovich, Ivisic, the Ivisic brothers, Stojakovic, it was all humorous. They were all size, all 6'5" to 6'7" players. And then Michigan was size and skill. We saw that. Michigan absolutely dominated the glass across the board. We are seeing this happen, and I could go back to the Final Fours of the last couple of years too. We are seeing this happen where size and skill is what works. Heck, the number 3 overall seed, Florida, when the team that won last year, size and skill. Between Condon and Thomas Hawk and Chinyelu, size and skill. Now, I want to call out the difference between like a Florida and between a Michigan for like a very important purpose. You could argue Florida's bigs were better than Michigan's bigs. But where the size and skill issue really comes down to for me is you still need to have shooting and skill that allow the bigs to do their job. I don't think Florida had the guards this year. Between Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee, they did not have the guards that could shoot the ball well enough or feed the post well enough to get their bigs involved. Michigan had that. Michigan had that with Kason before he got hurt. They definitely had it with Cadeau, and they had it with McKinney. They were able to make that work. And then also Yaxel Lenenborg was essentially a point guard at times for them too. Arizona had that. And Arizona had to wear, like I've said this, I've tweeted this, I believe Jaden Bradley was the best point guard in America this year. They were able to get the ball into their bigs. So as we're thinking about this roster build for this team, we're moving towards bigs. We have Royal, we have Evans. We are, for all intents and purposes, we know we're going after a 5, probably 2, to have some size. But we need to drill the guards. And that's the next thing. So when we think about guards, there's twofold. It's, are they able to shoot? Are they able to get an offense, run an offense? It's not a secret. DJ Wagner was on campus. This is where, regardless of the idea of his actual fit, his like pedigree to what his career's looked like, which hasn't been bad, but it just hasn't been the 5-star that everyone thought was going to be a one and done player. We have this opportunity here to start to add on these players. So Tommy, as you think about like our guards, what guards, and just kind of going forward, what do you think we need? What should we be looking for in the portal? Hopefully we hear DJ Wagner commit, but we'll kind of put that aside for now until we hear anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'll touch on it. I would love DJ Wagner. I know that name is polarizing with some fans and some listeners here, but I mean, DJ Wagner's never been like the guy, even since his freshman year at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like every stop he's had something in front of him, and at Villanova, there's nothing in front of him. We're looking to give the keys to somebody, and he has 1 year. I mean, he was the number 4 overall recruit, and when he was coming out of high school, he's 1 year to show the league what he is, and I think bringing in a motivated player who he's not a knockdown 3-point shooter, but he has increased his 3-point shooting from last year to this year. I would not mind bringing that in, but I'm looking for somebody ideally that can shoot the rock, because 2 through 4 in our lineup they're not going to be consistent 3-point shooters. So whether that be a true guard, like I think we could go about it this way. We could bring in an Acaden archetype and a Bryce Lindsey archetype. We could bring in somebody that's like Acaden couldn't shoot, but he's a great ball handler. He can run an offense, and then bring in a Bryce Lindsey. I think we could do that with DJ Wagner, and then the other guy who it's been reported that he's visiting tomorrow, Jake Fegan from Cornell. He's a good 3-point shooter. I think somebody in that role will be beneficial for this team, but we really need shooting.
Yep.
And we need a lot of it. Weemadouche, Adam O, whatever his name is. I think he can add a little bit of shooting. It's hard to tell with these overtime elite guys how that'll translate to the next level, but yeah, I mean, shooting is going to be a top priority, but I want a true lead guard, and I think DJ Wagner, he has the pedigree, he has the name, he had the hype around him. Like somebody like him would be great, but him in particular, I would really enjoy.
Yeah. To your point with Wagner, because I guess we'll just talk about him. It's been interesting because, to your point, he has not had the keys to any team. But I'm going to pull up his stats right now just to give like a quick overview. He's been solid everywhere he's gone, and solid, not spectacular. So he started off as a freshman at Kentucky, averaging basically 10, 3, and 2. Like solid on like not great percentages, and that's the thing. He hasn't been super efficient, but like sometimes in college basketball, it doesn't matter if you're efficient. Like it just doesn't matter, especially at the guard position. Sometimes it just doesn't matter. Then in Arkansas, he started every game, so he was a starter. He didn't have the ball in his hands as much, but he started every game so he followed Cal to Arkansas, and he averaged 11, 3, and basically 3 on better percentages, still not great. And then last year he had kind of his best career percentages on everything for shooting, and he like scored less, but like that's also because Arkansas had 2 really good guards between Malik Thomas and obviously Darius Acuff, who everybody who's probably listening knows who Darius Acuff is, but Acuff, first team All-American, fantastic player, should be a top 8 pick in the draft.
Yep.
So I'm excited if he comes here, and also just for him in general, like because you assume wherever he's going to go, it's like, hey, you're a senior, ball's yours. Right. And let's just see what he can do. Obviously, he has the pedigree of his father, NBA player, well, sort of NBA player, had injuries, but scored 100 points in a game. Like we all know the Juan Wagner story, and then his grandfather also just being an absolute basketball legend as well. So there's a pedigree there. You would hope that like as a senior, just with the ball in his hands, you see a leap, even if it's like he's averaging 12, 4, and 3 on the same percentages, but it's just like that's your guy. And it's just like it's very clear he's your team leader. I would take that. You just need to supplement it with shooting. We need shooting. The rest of the roster needs shooting. That's my worry. My worry is that the size is great, but it's like what kind of team are we trying to build? Tommy, you and I were texting about this, where it feels like we're going with like a blunt hammer approach. And what Tommy brought up was, well, that's kind of what like St. John's did. Like St. John's was just kind of a hammer. The difference was St. John's played at such a frenetic pace and put so much pressure on the opposing offense that like it kind of their half court offense could be crap because of the level of like turnovers and the pressure and just like the speed with which they tried to play for the most part, it didn't really matter once you got to the half court. We could change, and maybe we do that. Like that's a possibility, but like I don't think we've ever seen a Willard team play at that pace. So I'm going to make a safe assumption that we're going to be a slower team as always, and still try to like put that weight and that pressure on that team. Like not for nothing, like we're this is not like a dig at us or at Seton Hall, but like Kevin Willard builds Seton Hall teams. That's what he did. Those Seton Hall teams that like gave us so much trouble, like when we were at our peak. That's what Kevin Willard's building here. It's just in theory we have more resources to go get those players. The question is, can Willard go get a Miles Powell? Can he go get Miles Kale? Can he like, or is Perkins Powell, whatever, but can you go get that player to make sure that the rest of the team works? So that's kind of where we're at right now. That skill is like it's like we need the guards, whether it's Wagner or whoever it may be, we need a point guard. And then we need probably 2 bigs. Like I look at this and I still think there's probably 4 transfers that we need. Just to fill out. And we also had so many people leave.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely need 2 bigs. I don't know what's going on with Nico. He entered the portal, but I think the door is still open. That like he just posted on his Instagram story like 20 minutes ago. He was working out on Villanova's campus, and that's not out of the ordinary for people in the portal. But like, I don't know. Like having Nico back would be great. I would have liked for him to get some kind of burn this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like if this is the direction we're going, like we can't sign like an Alvaro Folgueras from Iowa. Like we can't sign like a stretch 5. Like we need, if we're gonna play slow and we're gonna play big, we need a bruiser. We need like a Najee Hines down there. Like I know I mentioned that name before. He might be out of everybody's price range right now.
I don't. We didn't. There's no connection to us. Like Eric Rebo would be fine.
Yeah, I get. He's a little soft for me. I mean, he's got all the skill in the world.
Yeah,
but I would like somebody. I mean, he'd be a good 4-year player. I think he's going to be in college for 4 years. You get a little bit bigger. I'd like. I don't know. I just want a bruiser. I want a bruiser. It's been so long. Like Oshefu, like Mufta Yaru. Like,
yeah.
When's the last time we've had like a bruiser down there? You know,
It'd probably be Omari, and Omari like had like a fantastic level of skill too, but he was definitely like.
You could argue that even he was a stretch 5 too.
Oh, he was definitely a stretch, but like he could,
yeah.
I mean, I guess technically Duke was your bruiser. Like, and I mean, not for nothing. If Duke could come back, I'd take him back with open arms, especially with the theoretical improved defense around him. Theoretically,
yeah. But as far as guards go, like the pitch to DJ Wagner should be so easy. Like, what more do you want? Like, this is you have Tyler Perkins, who's a senior. You have Royal. You have Evan. Like, this is your team, and it's a good team, and it's a skilled team. Like,
you will have you'll have the starting point guard team. You will get your X amount of dollars. We'll pay you enough, I promise.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
All right, so that's where we're at from a portal perspective. I do want to eventually start talking about the 40s, give out some awards. But one thing I just saw a tweet. I was up here. Where did that go? If I lost the tweet, I lost the tweet. It's whatever. I always do this. Oh no, here it is. The Big East has added some dogs just across the board. Like we've had the Big East has had a really good portal. I want to give a shout out to the Big East. So Kwame Evans Jr., Devin Royal, that's us. Creighton just signed Wes Ennis.
Who didn't follow his coach to Providence.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. But
Jalen Lowe went to Georgetown, which I'm a big Jalen Lowe fan. He got hurt, but I love him. Providence has gone crazy. Between Miles Bird, Dink Pate, and then Devin Vanterpool just signed today. Like they're going crazy in the portal. Like Providence is going on paper. Providence is going to be dirty next year. Like dirty. I think Xavier got Mike Nwoko and Ruben Dominguez. And then St. John's just signed Quinn Ellis, who, like, say what you will about people coming from abroad, but Quinn Ellis is like a 23-year-old like EuroLeague like all-star who's coming over. So he's on paper already all league. Like there's no reason he shouldn't be able to figure this out. So there's just like, and that's just off the top of my head. True Washington, where did he go? It was another Big East team. Hold on, where did True Washington go? That was another one that I saw. I thought True
Georgetown
Washington
also signed somebody else that didn't work out before, but might work out now, aside from Jalen
Xavier. I don't know who that would be for Georgetown, but regardless, there's a lot. Yeah, True Washington was Xavier also. So there's shout out to the Big East, and I've said all this. UConn still hasn't made noise yet. Like they got Demery back, but UConn still hasn't gone and signed anybody. I know Donnie Freeman is looking like he's moving closer to UConn. Yeah, it's just been a really fun Big East portal on paper, obviously.
Marco Jackson, Georgetown.
Wait, Marco Jackson went to Georgetown?
Believe so.
Oh, interesting. That's another one right there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that doesn't work. What? No one said that. Not me.
It's all the guys that like Ed Cooley just loves giving second chances to high major guys, which in like a mid major would be a great strategy. At Georgetown, I'm just not sure how that's going to work. But
I mean, it'd be cool if Georgetown was good.
Like, have you heard the name that Nova starting five dropped in the comments?
Yes, Frank Capang. Yeah, I have. Yeah. I've heard that name.
He's played. I wish Brian was here. I would like to see his face when I tell him he's played 7 seasons in college so far.
Oh, very
perfect.
7. So you got one more, or will this be the 7th?
No, this would be the 8th coming up.
Nice.
Yep. He went to Westtown.
I've heard of that. What has he played? Has it been a run of them, or?
He's been consistent. It's only Oregon and Washington.
All right.
Yeah. He just gets hurt. That just seems to be what it's been.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But also, looking at it, he's played 111 career games. Like, all right, give it up.
It's time, man.
Except if I was getting that any NIL package, I'm not giving it up. I'm hurting every tweaked knee. I'm like, that's another year. That's another $700K minimum. Come on.
Well, there's that old Tosh stand-up joke where he's like, people want Brett Favre to retire. He's like, he makes $7 million a year. Like, I think he's just going to keep doing that. He's like, people can fuck off. I'm just going to keep doing
right. Yeah. No, 100%.
All right. So now let's move into the 40s. So we're going to do our end of season awards. I came up with 12 good categories, I think. And we're going to just run through them. Kind of give our awards, and if there's anything you want to nominate, anybody that you do. So the way that we've always done the 40 historically, we'll talk about it. I'll give a little background about what the award is, what it's supposed to be. We'll talk about people, and then we'll come up with just who we think who the award should go to. They don't actually get any awards. We don't have the budget for that. Unless, once again, I'm going to put it over here. If the Saudis would like to give money to the podcast, we can talk. It's my running bit, and I'm not kidding. I can be bought. Actually, I can't. I got too much morals.
Too many morals.
Yeah, hit me up. All right, so we're gonna start with the "We Owe Him an Apology" award. So this one goes to the player on the team that we underestimated, said too much. Should I start with it?
Because it's unanimous.
Because it's my fault.
I know who it is for you guys.
Oh, okay. You have somebody different. Brian, you go first then. Who do you owe an apology to?
Zion Stanford.
Ooh. Okay. Why?
I graduated from Temple. For anyone who doesn't know that, I'm a Grew Up Villanova fan, but I didn't think a Temple player was going to be that effective on the team, and it was so much worse than I expected. So I owe him an apology for expecting that much out of him.
Brian zigging to all of these. I can't wait. All right, so Zion Stanford's one. All right, so then we owe him an apology. Tommy, I know we're on the same page with this.
Yep.
Mr. Devin Askew.
Yep.
I owe you an apology. I'm on record for saying I hated Devin Askew, and I did, and I stand by that. He played terrible basketball for multiple seasons. It turns out, as you grow older, you can mature. So one, kudos to him. But then two, putting him in the 6-man role, actually like kind of a really smart move. It allowed him to like play to his worst impulses, but in a way that made it effective for us. If it wasn't working, he sat down, but he also took more of a leadership role. And that's just like, honestly, I mean, and I don't blame him. Like when you bounce from school to school, you learn a lot of things. Like there was no part of me that was like calling him like dumb or anything like that. He learned, he's grown, and he was effective for us. Am I tripping? He won Big East 6-man of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like he ended up winning Big East 6-man of the year. That's great for a person who like, started off a top 30 recruit, top 25 recruit, whatever it was, went to Kentucky, couldn't figure it out, went to Texas, like didn't happen. Cal literally had to go back to Long Beach State to like find himself, and now came here. I owe him an apology. Devin Askew, that one's for you. Tommy, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to your apology for him.
Not much. I do want to say that on the court, yeah, he far exceeded my expectations. He, like you mentioned, he played a lot more mature. But I do want to say off the court, Caden Lewis gave a lot of very good interviews throughout the year, whether it be at halftime or with Andy Katz in the post game. He was very insightful and brought us in a way that other players in this program haven't in a while. And a lot of time he mentioned how much of an impact Devin Askew had on him, and mentioned how he's his brother and how he's helped him grow. And I guess it's all for shit now because he's in Miami. But at the time, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, Devin Askew, I'm sorry. That I rather enjoyed this year having him on the team.
I did. I never thought I would say that. He was his most effective from three. He tied his best field goal percentage at 40%. Let's be clear, it wasn't good, but he shot 40% from the field, 40% from three. He was like great at the line. Like didn't score the most he's ever scored, but like I owe him. And let me look at his just across the board. Like I owe him an apology. There you go, Devin Askew. I'm sorry.
That was mature of you. Good job.
Thank you. Growth. So now we're gonna zig. This one is we were right about him. Who was the player that we were right about? Good or bad, I guess. It could be either way. Like a person that you were like, this person was exactly what I thought they were. This is interesting because like I was thinking about this earlier. I guess we were right about him. I don't know. Like this is interesting. Like it's an interesting thought. I think the person I go for that we were right about, I'm gonna go ahead and say Bryce Lindsey, just in the way that like, and I'll start with him because he started off so hot to the point where I was like, oh, this is like very, very like very good. And then he hit maybe one of the colder streaks I've ever seen. And kind of the conversation that we had preseason is I was very in on him, but was like essentially worried about like what does it look like how does when he's not shooting the three, what does it look like, how is he able to play it in between in the in-between game? He's not a point guard, so we need to like see other stuff from him besides just shooting the three ball. He wasn't very good defensively. He wasn't bad, so I guess that's why we were right about him. But this is a tough one because like obviously like I can sit back, there's no like glaring bad player at this team, or even like player that we were like, this person is going to be like the best, because we have like there's a later award which I think we know who that's going to go to for most improved. Like I think we know that one, but we weren't right about that person because this person improved so much over the season. Is there anybody else you think that you were right about preseason? Because I'll even say I was probably wrong about Duke Brennan. He was a little better than I thought he was going to be.
So Duke Brennan fits that for me because when I saw him, I was like, oh, this guy is just going to bust his ass. Like, he's probably not a super talented, skilled basketball player, but he's probably athletic and he's going to work hard, and then he's not going to be effective in the Big East. And he was more effective in the Big East than I thought, but from the same respect, if you looked at his stats, I think you would think he was a little bit better than he was. I think it's one of those like he earned every one of those rebounds.
Yeah.
It didn't come out of talent; it came out of effort. And there's a positive and negative to that.
Yeah.
Mostly positive, but it would have been nice. I think he played as best he could play in his year here.
Yeah, I don't have much I could have asked for more from him, like honestly.
Yeah, I guess to an extent, I'd say Malachi Palmer, just kind of going off of your reasoning for Bryce Lindsey. Malachi was my guy in the preseason, and he was coming off an injury, and I guess that speaks more to an award that we're doing later on. But the way that he came in, like he played well in the scrimmage against VCU, I think it was, or Virginia. I don't know. One of those scrimmages, he played really well. The other one, he was okay. And then he got off to a slow start to begin the year. He came back, and the game against Utah State, I think, was his best game of the year. He was one of our 3 best players in that Utah State game. So I liked Malachi Palmer. I thought he was going to contribute a little bit earlier on, but towards the end, he became who I thought he was going to be. And I think if he stays, I mean, we don't know if any of these guys are going to stay, but if he stays, I think he's going to be a really valuable piece for this team next year.
Yeah.
For any team he joins.
We're gonna break this award in 3 and give it to all 3 of them, because I don't really have one we could pick from these. Participation culture. All right, 10. The one that we have next is the what if moment. What is your what if moment of the season? I have mine because it's recency bias, but it's the one play I keep thinking about all season. We were up 73-71 versus Utah State. Bryce Lindsey took a corner 3 that literally went down and out. And I just have to think, if we hit that 3, there's probably about 4 minutes left in the game. Do we just play more free and win that game? Now, ultimately, it probably doesn't matter because we get our absolute head bashed in by Arizona. But that's my what if moment. It was just a moment that it was probably the most visceral reaction I've had to a Villanova shot in a while. I don't know since when. I was going to say since Jenkins. That's not true. But yeah, it was just one of those ones where I felt it. I was like, if this goes in, I think we win. And it went in and out. And we know what happened the rest of the Utah State game. So that's my what if moment. What if Bryce Lindsey's corner 3 went in?
I like that. I don't want to say no. I'll tell you what I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it. Is what if Hodge plays the rest of the year? Like, what if they take him out? We were never going to win that game against St. John's anyway in the Garden. And I'm not saying it's Willard's fault for keeping him in, but if we had Matt Hodge
first half, right.
Yeah. But it's I think if Matt Hodge plays in that, especially down the stretch, I don't think we get embarrassed by Georgetown. And I think he definitely helps out a lot in the Utah State game. So I'm not going to say that, but I'll say, what if we hung on against UConn on the road?
Ooh, okay.
What does the season look like if – because, I mean, all year we were looking for that signature win that just never came. So what does it look like if we get that signature win? Does the trajectory of the season change? What if we won that game in Stores or Hartford? I don't know where it was.
I like that. That game was, just to give you a second on, that game was in – I'm getting old. Where the fuck is People's Bank Arena? Which one is that? It's no longer
That's
XL.
Hartford.
That's Hartford?
Yeah.
They changed the names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's XL, it's Gamble. Keep it that way. And I'm sure it was something before that. You can keep it that way too. I don't
Wait, is XL is Gamble or Gamble's the one on campus?
Gamble's on campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
My what if is what if Kyle Neptune stayed. Not saying I wanted him to, not saying that would have been a good thing, just what if,
We'd be a lot
Maryland fans follow the team so closely. and create this kind of one-way rivalry that I don't know that any of us will ever reciprocate since they're at school. And there's really no crossover.
Well, if Kyle Neptune stays, Con Knippel's probably not Rookie of the Year. Con Knippel best.
He gets those free throws.
Also, speaking of Kyle Neptune, they're playing right now. How's he doing?
Is he on the bench?
He's on the bench. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, tied at the end of overtime or end of fourth quarter.
Is the play in a one game? It's one game to qualify. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 games if you're in
if
the
the Sixers
10th.
lose, then they play the winner of this game tonight.
Yeah, the 7-8 game gives you an automatic win.
Yeah.
I mean, the NHL's playoff kind of sucks too, but I feel like there's a better way to do that.
I became a Flyers fan last night for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years, and I looked at the playoff bracket, and I'm sure it's easy to understand. No,
it's not. It's not at all.
I'm ignorant towards learning it. It looked very confusing, and
I have such an issue with the NHL conferences. I don't get it. I just doesn't make, or the divisions, not conferences. The conference is just East West. That makes sense. I just don't. What do you mean Central West Conference? That doesn't make sense.
I miss the old names that I didn't know what they meant, like the Patrick. You got a lot of Patrick Division championships. One cool thing with the NHL is that I'll think of it.
You think of the one cool thing?
Well, there's multiple cool things.
Yeah, there is. There are multiple cool things. The Winter Classic's pretty cool. I'm a fan.
It was, but then college football took it over because now they do like a bunch of outdoor games, but only one is the Winter Classic.
Yeah,
until like January something.
Winter Classic, I think, is always New Year's, and then there's like the Heritage Classic and something.
Yeah,
else.
The first couple Winter Classics were really cool.
Yeah,
because they'd be like before the Rose Bowl or maybe even the next day.
All right. Well, back to Villanova basketball. All right. I don't know. I think. Brian, I kind of like your what if moment of Kyle Neptune being the coach.
I don't even know what the roster like.
That is an interesting kind of like.
I think we probably keep 1 or 2 guys that transferred, but to be honest, off the top of my head, I can't remember who transferred from 2 years ago.
Dante Allen.
Oh yeah, Dante Allen's on the roster.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, Dante
Allen's on the roster. Would be a better free throw shooting team.
That is also very. Yeah, that is true.
You know what's crazy is we talked about this. Free throws did not cost us a game late, which is nuts.
Yep.
It absolutely should have.
Nuts.
Yep. Like in the scheme of things, in the scheme of things,
every game we lost, none of the missed free throws were like the crux.
Yeah.
A direct impact, sure, but like there were a lot of games that were probably a lot closer than they should have been.
Yeah.
Because of the free throw. Like it didn't feel like in all of conference play we had like that one Xavier game where everything clicked when no one on Xavier played. Like that game's different, but like there wasn't really a game that was like comfortable.
Yeah,
the entire conference play.
Kind of just junked our way to a fucking decent conference record. Like, all right, I like that what if moment. But all right, number 9, most improved player. I think this one's pretty unanimous, unless Brian, you're gonna zig.
Yeah, the obvious one is obviously Perkins.
Yeah,
but I think we expected him to start.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better answer. But probably
it's Perkins.
We didn't know any of the other players. Like it's hard. We don't really have a metric for any of them.
Yeah. And that's true. But I would say even with Perkins, what made it interesting was he wasn't this good. Like it happened like in 2026. Realistically, like beginning after 2025, he wasn't like the level that he became. And all of a sudden, conference play happened and something clicked for him. And he took like multiple steps forward as a player, becoming more effective scoring. Like just maybe I'm blacking it out, but like we weren't utilizing him in the low post preseason. And then all of a sudden, like we're running actions through him in the post. And I'm like, when did this happen? And he got really, really good. So Tyler Perkins is my like candidate for most improved player. To your point, Tommy, you could talk about Malachi Palmer, just like his improvement throughout the year, but like that may have been injury. We don't have this award. I'm gonna.
I mean, Tyler Perkins was officially awarded by the Big East Conference the most improved player.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened too.
Yeah, I mean, he doubled his scoring from last year. He became a rebounder. He became the face of the program, really. I mean, in conference play, he averaged 15.2 points per game and 6.2 rebounds per game. he got better as the competition got harder.
It is wild to kind of sit and think about, like, I mean, we'll see how next season goes, but like Tyler Perkins is going to play near 100 games in a Villanova uniform. He's going to score near 1,000 points, if not over 1,000 points in a Villanova uniform, barring injury or anything like that. Like, him starting at Penn will kind of be, I mean, not forgotten because we all remember where like the transfers have come from, but like in an era of people transferring for more money, he's, as of now, he said he's back, but you never know. He's staying.
Right.
All right. So Perkins is our most improved. This one's a little bit different. And I think I know who I'm picking for this. Who would you say is like the breakout player? And breakout, I just think kind of mean like, I'm going to call it, it's not necessarily our MVP, but just kind of the player that you look back, you sit back and you're like, I'm going to remember this person in a Villanova uniform because of this year. That's how I'm thinking about breakout player.
They're all gone.
They're all gone. So great. So I don't know. Like, I sit back and this is a Caden Lewis's award for me. Just I look at it and we were late getting him. He decommitted from Kentucky. We got him like probably like end of April last year, I think is when he committed. So he's a late like cycle ad. And we gave him the keys and he just kind of did everything that I have no knocks on him generally. Like, yes, he could have been a better shooter. Yes, he could have shown up in bigger moments. But like overall, like he should have shown up in versus higher major teams, because down the stretch of a lot of games, he did show up. He was getting to the basket and scoring. It was just versus tend to be lower major teams, or not lower major, but like worse Big East teams or things like that. So I don't know. I just look back and I'm going to remember this season as a Caden Lewis's season, the one season that he had here. Regardless of how the rest of his career goes, that's how I'm going to remember this season, which is why I'm putting him as the breakout player. And that may have interpreted it a different way, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I would have gone with Malachi Palmer, but I think your reasoning, I like your reasoning, so I'm going to jump to yours.
I think your reasoning is sound, and that's who we'll give the award to. But I want to make a case for Duke Brennan, because I don't want to forget him in his 1 year here. Like, it was against Queens, but he had a 20 rebound game earlier this year. Like, when's the last time we've had somebody like that dominant on the glass? I think just because we don't have any big men on the roster right now, I'm giving some extra love to Duke Brennan this year, manifesting it a little bit. But it's been a while since we've had a rebounder and someone with a post presence like him. So I'm cool with giving the award to a Caden, but I want to give Duke Brennan some
well deserved. Agreed. I like that. All right. So this we're going to give award to just somebody else, a non-Villanova player. Who was the best player we played against or had the best game? And we can just like kind of throw out names, like not the best player we played against, but Trey Carroll's game versus us, Xavier, like that was an outstanding performance where he was single-handedly giving Xavier the game. And then Xavier, for some reason down the stretch of the game, just decided we're not going to give him the ball, even though he was giving us absolute fits. So I don't think he's going to win, but Trey Carroll, like, because he's not the best player, but he definitely had the game where I was like, what the fuck? And he just kept pulling them along. Other ones that I have to nominate, people forget, we did play AJ DeBansta in the first game of the season. It was his first game, so he didn't, I mean, he still was decent. I don't remember what he put up. I think he put up like 17. What was it? Yeah, 21. Yeah, 21. It wasn't on great efficiency or anything like that, but like in terms of individual player, fantastic individual player.
Yeah. I want to shout out somebody who I never thought I would be shouting out here, and that's going to be Austin Swartz against he plays for Creighton, sorry.
Yeah.
The game that Creighton had against Villanova in the Fin was one of the worst games I've watched this team play in the last couple of years. But I think they missed 5 shots the entire second half. But there were 3 possessions in a row. He took the ball up the court, ran up to the elbow, and hit the same shot 3 times in a row. Like, I don't think he missed the entire second half. He was the reason that Creighton won when they came to the main line. So I'll go with Austin Swartz for Creighton.
That's a good one. I like that. Other ones that we like, we should probably call out. He didn't have a great game versus us to call it out, but Yaxel Lendenborg, we did play him, but he didn't play that well versus us. Who did play very well versus us was Final Four most outstanding player, Elliot Cadell. Played very well versus us. But that was also one of those games where like Michigan kind of just like blew us out early and it just didn't really matter. That's one. I do have to give a shout out to. Actually, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna add one here. So we have best player we played against. Favorite non-Villanova Big East player from this year, because I'm about to shout out mine, and I want to just give him a separate award here for me. Best player we played against, I don't really give a fuck who it is. We're just gonna name people, but favorite Big East player that like you saw us play, you're like, okay, I like that guy. I would have loved to have him on our team.
That's a great question.
The guy that left Providence to go to St. John's, and then they cheap shotted him. And
Bryce Hopkins.
That's my guy. And Twitter has made me think people that are Providence fans are odd, so I appreciated his ability to bother a fan base.
Bryce Hopkins, I like that. What was his name? The guy who committed the crime now. Powell.
Well, the senior day shirts. He didn't get no shirt.
Yeah, Duncan Powell, Shagman.
Duncan Powell, yeah, the guy. So
seems like a good guy after the season too. Nothing happened with him.
I'm gonna give mine to player of the year, just Zuby. Zuby, I have nothing but the most love for. I love Zuby Ejiofor. He plays just like a madman, but he has skill. I love Zuby. He's gonna go down as one of my favorite Big East players of all time, like without a doubt. Like when I look back at just everybody, like I go back and like some of my other favorites, like Miles Powell is one of my favorite, and Sumner's one of my favorite. Like Zuby will be in that level for me. I love him.
Yeah, I sound like a creepy 5th-year senior, but I really liked the freshman this year. Nigel James, I was a huge fan of for Marquette. He won Freshman of the Year. The game that he had against us, I mean, going back to the other award, Nigel James, like he wasn't known for a shooter, and the other guy that I was going to bring up, Jameer Jones, not even known for a shooter, but I mean, those guys are electric. I'll split the award between the two of them.
Tommy, sorry, just kind of we didn't get a transfer, but Magoon Guaf.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where he committed? Don't look. Guess where he committed.
Kentucky.
No.
I thought he was going to Kentucky.
He committed to DePaul.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding. I'm literally looking at it right now. Unless I getting got, like he just committed
Guath from San Diego State committed
just committed to Kentucky. Or sorry, to DePaul. Unless I'm getting got right now.
But who's the source?
League RDY. Like it's a real source.
Oh wow.
Sam Kaiser who putting it, yeah.
Sam Kaiser's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out Magoon. Shout out to Paul.
That is wild. All right, DePaul. Chris Holman just building something. Wow. Okay. Sorry, that was an aside. I just saw that on Twitter. I said that's insane. All right. So yeah, best player. I kind of liked Tommy. Like if we're gonna give it to, why not just give it to Bryce Hopkins, Nigel James, because I did kind of forget that for best player we played, and then Big East player doesn't really matter. Just kind of threw that out there. All right. So for us, our best individual game. So by individual player.
By an individual player?
By individual player. What was the best game you can remember? Some of the nominations I want to put out is Bryce Lindsey being the only one to really show up versus Tyler Perkins was there, but versus Utah State. That was like just ending the game season that way was better than it could have been.
I'm gonna go with Duke Brennan against Queens. 17 points, 20 rebounds, 50% from the field.
Oh, let me look at what else we did. I'm trying to think about the rest of the games. What was the Acaden game? There was the game, was that Marquette where he showed up down the stretch?
Georgetown, where he hit the 2 threes.
Yeah, the Georgetown one. That was a huge game. Other ones to call out that I can think of. Duke Brennan had a really good game versus Pitt. Just like it wasn't sexy, but it was just, I mean, it was 24 and like 10, 24 and 9. That was one. I do like the Duke Brennan 20 rebound game. That's a good one to call out.
Did you say Bryce Lindsey versus Utah State?
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one it has to go to because that was just like, but we also lost. So like, I don't know if we can give it to that one.
I don't know, man. That was, he put the team on his back there.
I think you can because it was nice to be back in the tournament. And
yeah, that's fair.
It was the most high stakes game we had all year.
The school record holder for threes in a game. Actually tied with Devin Askew, sorry.
Did they do it in the same game?
They did.
I think it was the same game. Yeah. Which talk about individual performance. That's a really good one right there. Yeah. I kind of like that one. Yeah. Giving that to them for breaking the school record for threes in the same game. Yeah. Let's give it to them for that one. Yeah. Bryce and Devin for that.
Hell yeah. Devin Askew, Villanova record
legend.
holder.
His name will never be erased from the books. All right. What would we say? This one's going to be, I think this is probably one of our harder ones. Best game, best team performance. And simply because we talked about this earlier, like there's not a game that like really, really sticks out.
We didn't steal a game. We won. Yeah, we lost one game we should have won, and we won every other. Yeah.
So like I look at like honestly like the best game we probably played was the UConn loss. Like if we're being honest, that's one I like think about. The Marquette one down the stretch. The Marquette at home was a good one, and on the road. Both the Marquette games were very good in terms of like entertainment level. Like obviously if we had lost, that would have been terrible because they were bad this year. But just in terms of entertainment level, those were high. So
I prepared for this one.
Ooh, okay.
So I did have the Marquette game at Marquette as one of my honorable mentions. The DePaul comeback, we were down 10 with 11 minutes left.
Good call. I forgot about that game.
On December 31st. We mentioned this earlier, but the Acaden Lewis Georgetown game, I think that was good. But I kind of went in another direction, and I said the best game of the season was on March 7th. We beat Xavier 91-78. And I think that game, it was the most complete, mature version of Villanova the whole season. Like it was the regular season finale. It was the last game we won all year.
Tommy, literally, I was going to wait till you finish to say, and then what happened?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like I thought that is who we were going to be, like going into the Big East tournament, going into the NCAA tournament, and clinch us a 3 seed in the Big East tournament. But Duke Brennan 20-13, and Caden Lewis 14-12, Devin Askew 18-8-7, Tyler Perkins had 18 points. The team as a whole shot 56.5% from the field. You couldn't tell me shit after that game. I thought that was it, but
it was in a way.
Clearly it wasn't. Soiled it.
All right, yeah, I like that. I kind of do like that. It's just kind of like our last good win, or our last before we soiled ourselves. That's how you know I'm serious. I've never said soiled myself in my life, and I just said soiled. Just something. This is an aside because you mentioned Duke Brennan. How many games do you think Duke Brennan wasn't our leading rebounder in?
Do you have the number?
I have the number. I'm looking at it right now.
2.
Brian, would you take the higher or lower on that?
Lower.
So you think it's like 0 or 1?
1.5.
It's 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
sucks.
Perkins led in 4 of them. Sorry, 5. Lewis led in 1, and Askew in 1. With all like 6 rebounds, Perkins had 7 in 1. But yeah. And I think there was a game that Duke Brennan got hurt in. I can't remember what game that was that he like didn't finish it out.
I think it was a Big 5 game.
Yeah, it was earlier in the year.
I think it was LaSalle, if I remember correctly.
Well, if it was LaSalle, he had 13 rebounds, so it didn't affect him.
Yeah, because you know what? I think he might have not missed the next game, but not played as many minutes.
Yes, something along those lines. And that makes sense because Old Dominion Perkins had 7. Let me look at the minutes. Did he play less minutes versus Old Dominion? Oh, he didn't play in that game. I forgot he didn't play. Braden Pierce played. So that's exactly, he did get her in that game.
Hell
that
yeah.
makes sense. Braden Pierce played. I forgot he missed the game. Yeah, we had 30 minutes from Tafari Gapar, RIP. All right.
He's who I owe an apology to.
You owe him an apology too?
For what?
Yeah.
Expecting anything. Kind of stealing Brian's flow.
Well, I mean, it's nice that we all had kind of different takes on that.
I was feeling pretty good about him just being like a long guy to throw at defenders after he kind of went at AJ DeBance. That I was like, okay, like yeah, we'll have a long guy to throw at some people. Like you didn't really stop AJ DeBance though, but like that's fine. Like AJ DeBance is going to score 20 in the NBA next year, so like it doesn't really matter. But then he just didn't play, so we'll see what happens there. Or I guess we won't. I wonder if he would still have eligibility, right? He's in the portal, right?
He's in the portal, yeah.
In the portal. Well, we'll see where he ends up. I can't wait to see. I'm waiting to see us get a commitment during this time during this, but I don't think it's going to happen. So if you guys see me vamping, it's because I'm trying to give us DJ Wagner time to make the decision.
I've been refreshing all night.
All right. Ooh, that's a terrible picture of Kevin Willard. All right, we're gonna keep rolling. So we just did best individual game. We just did best team game. Worst loss. Creighton.
Yeah, probably.
Right, like I think it's Creighton should win. Utah State was fucking annoying. Just like to lose the last 4 minutes of a game, like for it to be 0-0 and be like, truly, you have 4 minutes to empty the tank, and we did that. I don't love. So that's one of my answers, but I think it's got to be Creighton. Chris was on this podcast like spewing just spewing angry after that.
Yeah. I had that on there as one of my honorable mentions. I went with the Georgetown loss in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament. Mm-hmm. Entering the game, I think Nova was going to get a 7 seed in the tournament, and the Georgetown loss probably dropped them to an 8 seed.
Yeah,
and I put them in San Diego, which is travel disadvantage. Caden Lewis got a taste of the nice weather, got rid of him.
That's our what if. If we win that game, does a Caden Lewis transfer?
Yeah. Or maybe we do because he spends more time in the nice weather.
Oh yeah.
One bad game in March. It changed seating. It changed travel. Changed the opponent they faced. It was, not to mention, it was a hard. Like Georgetown sucked last year. Like there's no way. Like if we play that game 10 times, we beat them 8 or 9, and that was horrible.
And how about they said Cooley predicted like a 12-point win? And they didn't tell us that until they were up by like 16. They're like, oh, by the way, he said they were going to win double digits. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Say that after the game.
That's like LeBron saying that he knew Kobe was going for 81 that night.
Someone redid that with him talking about Bam. I watched the whole game like Lakers were playing during the game.
That's one of those meme formats. It'll always get me. Just every time I see that face, I'm like,
how about they have that commercial where he like leans into it?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. Like, that's not a fun thing to be like known for.
No, you always lying, guy. Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. We're gonna skip 3 because it's kind of the same thing. I had best game versus best win. It's kind of the same thing. I don't want to talk about that. So now we're getting into 2 awards, some of our flagship ones. The Shaq Fit Man Play of the Year.
Honestly, I got nothing.
That's why I still have. I don't remember a single play. I was trying to think about it, and I was like, I brought this up knowing that this would be the conversation.
I hate to do this because a lot of people like him, but if we remember when I went on one of my Justin Moore rants, I was like, what's his signature play? Is it the buzzer beater against DePaul in the Big East tournament where they lost the next game? Like, to me, like, great career, played hard. There's never a moment where like, oh man, the Justin Moore blank play.
Honestly, the Justin Moore, I think it's the injury.
Yeah,
but it's not a play. I get what you're saying.
Right, no, but like that's what I was telling, and it wasn't. It's not even to clown Justin Moore. It's just like Jermaine Samuels has a signature play. It's that weird kick out 3 against Kansas. Like he had others later, but like usually those 4-year guys have a play or a moment, or the legendary ones have 7 or 8. I got nothing from this year for Shaq.
It's very interesting. I don't have anything.
Wasn't there an alley-oop in the tournament game? Like
that happened
like
to
a lob alley-oop for us.
Oh, I don't know for us.
I just felt like there was a moment where I was like, people are going to get way too excited about this.
I mean, some of the plays that I could like remember is recency bias. Bryce Lindsey's deep 3s versus Utah State, but like a deep 3 really can't be the play to win the game. A Caden down the stretch versus Georgetown is probably it. Like those are probably the plays that I think about the most.
I have another one. Tyler Perkins' block on Adrian Stevens in the game against Marquette.
That's actually probably it. Yeah.
Villanova, Marquette had cut it to 74-73, and then Perkins.
He also scored the play before that too.
Yeah. They just kept.
Oh, it was like the mini Spellman.
Yeah.
I remember like seeing that clip right after that.
Yeah, Perkins like came out of nowhere and swatted it clean, and they went on to win that game on the road, and then they won the next 6 straight and locked up a tournament bid. So I thought that was
probably it. Yeah, that's actually probably the moment. And that's like just kind of an interesting like conversation on this season, honestly. There wasn't like we never had the moment, and like that's probably the best one. But we never had the moment. We never had we never fully crossed that bridge into like becoming, I don't know, like a historical Villanova team, but just like a memorable one. Kind of like, frankly, this team, I think like, once again, I think we're moving in the right direction. Generally, it was a good season. There's nothing to take away from that, but like it was missing that moment. But I do like that because that was probably the most excited I got was on Perkins' block there. That's actually a very good call out.
Shout out Tyler Perkins.
All right. And so the number 1, our take on MVP, the alpha dog of the year. This is interesting because it's one of 3 players, realistically. At least in my eyes. My nomination, I'm gonna give my like I can't believe I'm gonna say this. It's not the person, but for me, it's Duke. I think Duke Brennan was the most consistent, was the kind of the consistent heartbeat of the team of like his performance showed how good we were going to be. Now, once again, he was getting exploited. I'm not saying he was I wasn't saying he was flawless. He was getting exploited defensively. Like, once again, I blame kind of Kevin Willard and the team for this, but like, we did not step up at all versus Mason Falstaff down the stretch of that. Not even down the stretch in the beginning of Utah. Like Utah State scored so many points because we were playing deep drop coverage, and Falstaff just kept going. I'm going to wait till I get 3 steps in front of Brennan. I'm going to shoot a floater, and he can't do anything about it. But just regardless of that, overall, I would say he's one of my nominations for it. He was just like he was kind of the ass kicker, the attitude of the team. So he's just going to be my answer for that. He's my nomination. I think I would actually vote somebody else, but he's my nomination.
Yeah. I think the other two were Lewis and Perkins. But yeah, I like your explanation for Duke. I'm gonna go Tyler. Uh, he was the most improved player in the conference, like you mentioned with Duke Brennan. I mean, he was consistent all year round, and Perkins he wasn't bad in the beginning, but he really turned a corner. But he was a veteran in the backcourt. He was a rebounder from the guard spot. He was a leader on a team like with 12 new faces. And Kevin Willard midseason, he said he finally started understanding what his role is on and off the court, and the guys really listened to him. I think Lewis was the most exciting. I think Brennan was probably the most consistent, but Perkins was the MVP, and he's going to get my vote in this award.
Zion Stanford, because after he quit, everything fell apart. So
honestly,
we don't know what behind the scenes looked like, but I could make the argument he was holding everything together.
Yep.
Maybe a locker room guy.
I like that.
I think to me it's obvious he was the he was the glue.
And I like your answer, Tommy. Realistically, if I'm voting for Perkins. And I think I like this because if we think about for next season, kind of regardless of who gets pulled in, like this is gonna. I mean, the way college basketball has changed, I'm gonna say like this year was the year Tyler Perkins is a Villanova guy. Like he was just a transfer. Like, but even coming into the season, he's just a transfer. Now it's like, all right, he's 2 years. He's a Villanova player. He's coming back for his senior year. I think we look at like this team and we look at like the identity and we look at where we're going. Hopefully as we continue, like without knowing anything, like next year's team is Tyler Perkins' team. Like kind of doesn't really matter who else we bring in. Tyler Perkins is going to be the leader. Is he a captain? I don't understand. Okay, I was like, sometimes I don't understand captains. I feel like it gets given randomly. But like he should be a captain if he's not. But yeah, I would say yeah. I agree. Perkins is probably the answer.
I like the Duke shot though because he was like the heartbeat of that team. Like the team went as Duke went.
Yeah,
and
that was kind of why. That's why I went there because my vote would truly have been for Perkins, but like I wanted to give Duke just a shout out because I just think he was what the team when he was good, we were great, and when he was bad defensively, we were lose to Utah State.
And if he wasn't there, like we already got abused on the boards. Like
if we didn't have him,
yeah, it would be yucky.
Yeah, as much as we got abused on the boards, if we didn't have him, it would have been so much worse.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Those are the 12 I had. Any other random categories? Anything else you want to just shout out as we think about the year?
Shout out Jasmine Bosco.
Ooh,
the women's team.
Oh yeah,
Alpha Woman of the Year, or Alpha Dog. You can still be a dog, girl. I know I said Alpha Woman.
If only they had a word for female dogs. Yeah, I mean.
I'm back.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, shout out Jasmine Bosco.
And they're still at one portal loss, one gain, right?
Yeah, one portal loss, one gain, I think is actually the answer.
Is the portal as active on the women's side? Like, is it the same number of players that enter?
It's a little less. I know it's less.
Yeah, I want to say I hear about it less, but I think I only hear about 2 or 3 programs versus with men's.
So I can find the answer to that. Like, what is the women's portal number?
The crazy part is about Jasmine Bosco. She's Canadian, so she can't get NIL. So
I forgot that.
It's half.
What's with all these European guys on like Michigan stuff? Are they not like how? Or is
it's a specific Canada rule.
Okay, it's a visa thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a visa thing, but it's specifically for Canada. Like Zach Eady had the same issue. Like it's Canadian specifically. And also as of 10 hours ago, there's 1,500 names in the women's portal, which is half of the men's. Yeah.
Okay. Still a lot, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Jasmine Basco. Yeah, I don't really think there's much else. Like, I mean, we're gonna see what happens with the portal. So if we just think about like our plans the rest of the year, we'll probably do one more pod depending on the portal and like when we get that done. If it's like, not gonna lie, guys, if it's like the throes of the summer, good luck.
Yeah,
Good
we
luck.
said that 2 years ago, and then it was like it was June.
Yeah. So assuming we can get to a good spot by like in the next like 3-ish weeks, we'll probably like wrap up talking about that, and then we'll take off for the summer for the most part, barring something insane happening. Kevin Willard becoming the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers or something, which would be hilarious.
Be awesome.
Maybe the Bucks, because they just got rid
The
of
Bucks,
Rivers.
yeah. Actually,
Do you think any of the players Googled Doc Rivers after he demanded they Google him?
That was awesome.
I know very little about him, but the very little I know is awful.
so I don't think anybody's done more damage to their brand.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay, that's not true. But like he's done a lot of damage.
No, I would say like within sports, like
Yeah.
outside
Because
of actual bad people stuff.
they won the 2008 finals under the Celtics, and it was kind of like, all right, Doc Rivers is this great coach. He was a former player, all this different stuff. Then when you like peel back, Tim Duncan was going to be in Orlando Magic, and Doc Rivers, like the broad strokes, the story was Tim Duncan was going to sign with the Magic, or asked to
I never heard
sign
that.
a draft. Yeah, and basically Tim Duncan was like, I want my wife to be able to come on team flights with us.
Oh, right.
And Doc specifically was like, we're not allowing that. You can't do this. And he went in another direction. And then the Spurs were like, yeah, sure, man. Like, we'll figure it out. Your family can come travel with us. And
he was like, it was veteran Tim Duncan. It was Tim Duncan who had.
It was like, I think it was like 03 Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
like,
stupid. It was like pristine reputation.
Yeah.
Once his
it was.
Not like an entourage.
Yeah, so that, and then just like, okay, cool. He's won. It was 2000. I just wanted to figure out it was summer 2000. But then he won the title. Cool. And then as the internet kind of like just had to give people the more ability to like look stuff up, it was like, oh, he's kind of like Austin Rivers kind of like didn't really fuck with him. And I was like, is he kind of a crappy dad? And then it was all this stuff.
I didn't even know that part. I just know he's like the Game 7 thing. And
then there's all the Game 7s. Then there's
which would be what would pop up if you Googled him.
Yeah,
like if you Google Doc Rivers, the Game 7's probably like right at the top of the SEO.
Yeah.
Did he keep Embiid in a game late in a playoff game during one of his injuries?
Yeah.
Honestly,
was it like a blowout? Like what's that? Yeah. What's
Brian? In that moment, I completely forgot Doc Rivers was the coach of the Sixers. That's how much I blocked it out of my head. You said it, and I was like, "Holy shit! Yeah, he was the Sixers coach."
Oh, you forgot that he coached ever?
Yeah, the Sixers ever. Like I am a Sixers
went from
fan.
Nick Nurse, what's his name? The Australian guy to Nick Nurse.
Yeah, I just I miss Doc Rivers in my head.
Yeah,
I envy you. I wish I could miss Doc Rivers in my head.
Yeah.
He made me lose my love of the Sixers temporarily, and Nick Nurse is not doing a good job getting it back. He's at the Sixers have a playing game tomorrow. He's at batting practice for the Phillies right now. Just
Nick Nurse?
hitting ground balls. Nick Nurse, yeah.
I mean, probably just stopped over after running a really tough practice. The NBA, I know they bust their ass in practice. So. Oh no, they don't even practice at the Wells Fargo. Yeah, no. So he would have been in Camden. So one of my favorite Sixers stats is they built that practice field in Camden. Looked really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They did the whole thing that it's going to add jobs. So the report came out. It added 6 jobs, 3 nutritionists, 2 trainers. So I don't imagine that those people were living in Camden. I don't think it gave jobs to people that weren't working. I think it gave pretty hyper-specific jobs to the people already doing it when they were practicing at PCOM, which was awful, by the way.
The PCOM facility?
Yeah.
God awful. Every time I drive by, like, that's where this happens.
And they would sometimes practice at the Healthplex in Springfield, which is not close to the city. Like, it was a nice facility, but like no one would live near there.
Yeah. Also, no one would live near PCOM. Like, I mean, I guess.
So at least it's City Ave. So some of the young guys would get like Iguodala lived by there. Some of the young guys would live in the bigger like apartment buildings.
Okay, I guess you do have those apartments down there.
Yeah.
It's not far from TGI Fridays. That's why AI was always over there.
Closed though.
Yeah, it did close.
Defunct.
So my dad once did work at Keith Van Horn's house, and he didn't know who it was, and he was like, "Oh, I met this guy today, really tall guy. You know, does electric work at his house. You've probably heard of him." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "Keith Van Horn." I'm like, "He's like a star." And I was like, "Don't you? Would you normally meet with like a house manager?" She's like, "No, it was just him." He was like, "That guy walked me through everything." And I think he kept his stuff around here. I think he stayed in our area, which is kind of
he went to. No, he did go to Utah. So
it was something in Utah.
But he played like he played. That's what it is. He played New Jersey, New York, and here Philly. So like,
oh, that makes sense. So everything was per.
Yeah. So he was just in the area a bunch.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we call it?
Yeah, I guess we'll call it. We're talking about Keith Van Horn, so I guess the podcast is kind of.
I realized that. I was like, this is a cool story.
I saw the numbers go up of how many people were listening. I was like, you're not, you shouldn't be listening to the Keith Van Horn stuff.
Yeah.
You guys. All right. So as we said, we're gonna look at just the portal. We'll kind of make a game time decision based off of like what we're going to do there. I think we're still going to wrap up. Just hopefully it's not by mid-June when this is over. But it's been a fun season. We're going to come back. We'll be back next year, and we're going to get after it more. You know, we're gonna have a new team. We're gonna have a big team. We're gonna have a sorted number of guards. The biggest team.
That's what I was going for. It's gonna be huge.
Huge. We joke, but I'm sad. And yeah, I think we're in a good place. I'm excited to see what the team, what the program looks like. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all soon. And as always, let's go Nova.
Champions!